bright colors, big hair, catchy pop songs, and a secret identity hidden behind the hologram. To millions of kids in the 80s, Gem wasn't just a cartoon. She was everything. But behind the glitter and glam of Gem and the Holograms was a tangled web of secrets, shady studio decisions, wild behind-the-scenes drama, and some truly disturbing details the creators tried to leave in the past. Did you know the show's own creators got kicked to the curb? Do you know which character almost was erased entirely after a real-life controversy? And what's the deal with the love triangle that low-key taught kids to accept cheating? Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll never see Gem the same way again. Let's jump in and uncover the dark, strange, and downright shocking secrets behind one of the most iconic shows of the 1980s. Before we go full dark side, let's break it down for anyone who might have missed the glitter train in the 80s. Gem and the Holograms was an animated series that ran from 1985 to 1988, created by Christy Marks and produced by Hasbro and Sunbow Entertainment, the same people behind the G.I. Joes and Transformers. This story follows Jerrica Benton, a young woman who inherits a music company after her father's death. But that's not all. Her father also left her a super advanced AI named Synergy, and he was able to project lifelike holograms. With Synergy's help, Jerrica creates an alter ego, Gem, the ultimate pink-haired pop goddess. Christy Marks became the unsung hero of the Gem universe. She wrote over half the episodes and crafted Gem and the Holograms as a feminist, adventurous alternative to the male-dominated Saturday morning lineup.
I think you have something that belongs to us. Oh, you mean these? Here! You'll have to catch them, if you can!
Jerrica Benton was a businesswoman by day, pop icon by night, and was designed to be more than just a Barbie with a mic. She ran a music label, raised foster kids, and battled corporate villains, all while wearing enough eyeshadow to blind a robot. But don't let that glam fool you. The show tackled heavy themes like orphans and runaways, drug use, stalking, identity crisis, and a surprising amount of attempted kidnapping. This wasn't your average glitter-fueled fantasy. Gem was a soap opera meets rock concert meets after-school special. She forms an all-girl band named Gem and the Holograms with her sister Kimber on the keyboard, AJ on guitar, and Shauna on drums. Later, Shauna switches to fashion design and Carmen Araya Alonso joins as the new drummer. I know, some of you right now are thinking, boring, but wait a minute. Let's talk about the villains of the show, the rival band called the Misfits, Pizzazz, Roxy, Stormer, and later, Jetta. These girls weren't just mean, they were dangerous.
The big contest is only a few days away and Gem's more popular than ever. None of your brilliant schemes have worked.
The Misfits would sabotage tours, crash cars, and even commit crimes to win battles of the bands. See? It just got more interesting, didn't it? Now, in the middle of it all was Jerrica's boyfriend Rio, who had no idea that the woman he was madly in love with was also a pop star he was low-key cheating with. With its mix of fashion, music videos, high drama, and tech-powered transformations, Gem was basically Hannah Montana meets Blade Runner, but with better earrings. Let's talk about Rio. Jerrica Benton, our main character, leads a double life. By day, she's a businesswoman running a record label. By night, she's Gem, the rock star alter ego created with holographic technology. Only one problem. She never tells Rio, her boyfriend, that she's also Gem. So what does that mean in practice? She flirts with him as Gem, he kisses her, and he's emotionally torn between two women who are actually the same person.
You're so responsible and dependable and comfortable to be with.
You make me sound like an old pair of shoes.
I can fix that.
A lot of fans now look back and realize this wasn't romantic, it was psychologically manipulative. Jerrica basically gaslit Rio for the entire show. She even watched him cheat on her, with her. Critics have pointed out that this storyline sends mixed and borderline toxic messages about honesty in relationships, and the fact that this was marketed to kids, that's pretty wild. The Misfits were loud, angry, punk, and borderline criminal. They were everything Gem and her band weren't. But here's the twist. The Misfits were actually inspired by real-life women from the 1980s punk scene, female rockers who were breaking barriers and shaking up the system. So what did the show do with that inspiration? It turned them into villains. Instead of showing punk women as rebels with a cause, the show made them petty, jealous, and outright dangerous. Pizzazz literally tried to commit vehicular manslaughter more than once. Stormer cried in every episode. Roxy couldn't read. So while the Misfits were technically the bad girls,
No! Let me go! Let me out! Oh, no! No! Come on, let's tune up. Let me out! Oh!
they were also based on real women pushing for artistic freedom. In hindsight, the show's portrayal of them plays a subtle jab at women who refuse to play by the rules. Here's a shocker. Jem's voice actress and Jem's singing voice were two totally different people, and they never even met. Samantha Newark was the speaking voice of Jem and Jerica. Britta Phillips, a 19-year-old with pipes of steel, handled the vocals. And get this, Britta would go on to join the indie rock band Luna, and was even considered to front the Smashing Pumpkins at one point. Yeah, Jem almost led a grunge band. Meanwhile, Samantha Newark found herself typecast in animation and later carved out a career in voice work, but she never got to be the rock star she voiced. It's kind of poetic. Jem's whole story was about dual identities, and even the production mirrored that perfectly. Each episode of Jem featured up to 3 original songs, all produced like legit MTV videos. These weren't throwaway jingles, they were full-blown synth-pop bangers with iconic visuals. But here's the tea. While Jem was giving girls an animated version of MTV, MTV itself wanted nothing to do with it. They saw it as just a toy commercial. Which is wild, because Jem's music videos were legit. Each one had different camera angles, backgrounds, styles. It was early music video art in a cartoon.
Tell me I'm crazy, maybe I know, but I believe in happy endings.
The animators took it seriously, so seriously that some episodes went over budget and past deadlines just to make the music sequences shine. And let's not forget the Misfits. Their songs were better, funnier, edgier, and sometimes straight up unhinged. They were the villains, but in a weird twist, a lot of fans liked them more than Jem. Why? Because let's be real, Zaz had more personality in one neon fingernail than Jem did in an entire wardrobe change. Let's not sugarcoat it. Jem and the Holograms was a toy commercial, literally. Hasbro created the dolls first, then came the cartoon to boost sales. The music videos? Yep, those were designed to be toy ads. The outfits, the glam, the stage shows, all calculated marketing. Even the show's structure, 3 music videos per episode, was carefully built to mirror MTV, which dominated the youth market. Some insiders claim the writers were regularly told to focus less on character development and more about what would help the dolls fly off the shelves at Toys R Us. And it worked. Jem became a billion-dollar brand, but it also triggered debates about ethics in kids programming. Should a cartoon be used to manipulate children into buying products? The answer got so murky, the FCC changed rules about marketing to kids because of shows just like this. Shanna Elmsford was one of the first black animated female characters on Saturday morning television, and fans loved her. She was a fashion designer, a drummer, and she wore her natural curls with pride. But when the Jem live-action movie came out in 2015, Shanna's character was played by a much lighter-skinned actress, sparking massive backlash. Critics accused the filmmakers of whitewashing and colorism, and honestly, they had a point.
You messed up that guitar solo, that's what was wrong.
Well, that's usually Kimber's part. It wasn't written for a guitar.
In a time when darker-skinned black girls rarely saw themselves on screen, Shanna was a big deal. Recasting her with someone who barely resembled the original character felt like a slap in the face. One of the most feel-good parts of Jem was the Starlight House, a foster home Jerica runs for younger girls. On paper, that's amazing. A rock star giving back to at-risk youth? Instant good vibes. But if you really watch the episodes, things get weird. These foster girls were doing chores constantly, running errands, supporting Jem's tour schedule. In some episodes, they even risked their lives to help her get to a gig on time. Online fans have pointed out that the girls often act more like underpaid interns than actual children in care. So, was the Starlight House a home or an unpaid labor camp with sequins and synth music? Okay, this one's creepy. A huge number of Jem's fans vividly remember Jem having a pink star painted over her right eye. I swear by it. It's been referenced in fan art, cosplays, and even merch. The problem? That star never existed. Not once in the original series does Jem wear a star on her eye. It's a classic Mandela effect.
Don't bother. When we win the contest, we'll have the last laugh.
Yeah, and the only way we're gonna win is by making better music.
When a large group of people remembers something that never happened. So where did the pink star idea come from? Some think it was a mix-up with the gem doll packaging. Others think it's a glitch in the Matrix. Either way, it's one of the most bizarre false memories in cartoon history. Imagine this. You're a kid in 1988, fully obsessed with Gem and the Holograms, and then it's just gone. No big finale, no farewell tour, no final battle with the Misfits, just silence. The show was canceled mid-season with zero closure. The official reason? Low toy sales. But fans believe Gem was a victim of internal politics, budget cuts, and poor scheduling. Episodes were aired out of order. Some markets didn't even get the final season, and Hasbro, who once got big on Gem, decided Barbie was too powerful to beat. Gem and the Holograms was silenced way before its time. Christy Marx created Gem and the Holograms. She literally gave birth to the show, writing the characters, the world, the vibe, the music. And then, Hollywood did what it often does. In 2015, Universal Pictures tried to bring Gem back in a live-action movie, but instead of neon glam and girl power, fans got whatever that was. No Misfits, no synergy, well, it was toy robots, so yeah, no synergy. Barely any holograms, and Gem was a YouTube star. Seriously? The backlash was immediate. The film was pulled from theaters in less than 2 weeks and made just $2.3 million on a $5 million budget. Christy Marx called it a betrayal of her work. She wasn't just left out, she wasn't even told it was happening. She found out the same way the rest of us did, online. The studio didn't reach out, didn't ask for her input, and didn't even mention her name. That's like rebooting Star Wars without George Lucas. Fans called it an insult to their childhood. Even the original voice actors distanced themselves from it. It was a sad, auto-tuned footnote in what should have been a legendary return. The reason, according to Marx, it boiled down to blatant sexism. An all-male team decided they didn't need the input of the woman who built the brand. That decision sparked outrage among fans. But more than that, it exposed the bigger problem in Hollywood. Women build empires, then get locked out of them. Gem and the Holograms promised glitz, glam, and girl power, but underneath all that sparkle was a surprisingly twisted legacy. From corporate sabotage and creator betrayal to studio politics, legal battles, and a mountain of lost potential. This was more than just a cartoon. It was a cultural experiment with real-world casualties. Let's not forget, Gem's identity crisis wasn't just a plot device. It mirrored the creative chaos behind the scenes. Is she Jessica? Is she Gem? The lines were blurry, and the consequences, both in the universe and in reality, were shocking. But maybe that's what made it so addicting. Maybe that's why people still remember the music, the style, and that iconic line. It's showtime, Synergy.
Showtime, Synergy.
Did you say something? Jam!
What do you expect? Get dressed.
So, now that you know the truth, what did you think? Did Gem deserve better? Was Rio actually the worst love interest in cartoon history? And which of these secrets shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if you love wild behind-the-scenes stories from your favorite 80s and 90s shows, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss another backstage tale. Because hey, that drama doesn't stop when the cameras did. See you next time.